Good morning, Derek. I see you, my good friend. Good morning. Let's get some music going here. Good morning, Bill. How are you? Good morning. Bill, I just yesterday put Sue Littlemeyer's package in the mail. I had her label done, but I didn't really get to anything in the mail for the last couple of days because I was waiting for boxes, some shipping boxes. Good morning, Eggs. So the shipping boxes came middle of the morning yesterday, so I was able to, I don't know, 7 or 8 packages got put in the mail. So got that taken care of, and thank you for looking out for her. Good morning, Richard and Trenty. Same thing, yours went out yesterday evening. I was waiting for a box of shipping boxes, you know, my little white boxes. I had ran out. To usually am a little more on top of my supply chain, make sure I don't run out, but this time I did. So it only takes a couple of days to get them when I order them. Good morning, Punisher. Good morning, Haiti and Herbie. Good morning, Marky. And Sue. Sue, I just sent your package. Just sent your package. So, on its way to you. Good morning to all of you. Four Leaf, good morning. Good morning. Let me go. I'll be right back. There's Ruffy. Okay, good. Good morning to many of you. Good morning. Excuse me. Jesse James is here. Jesse's not robbing any trains this morning because he's here. You're welcome, Sue. Sorry it took so long. I had actually semi-forgot about it. And then once I remembered, I had to wait for some boxes to come in the mail. Good morning, Mushy. Good morning to all of you this morning. Good morning. 24 people, 13 likes. Is anybody forgetting to double tap? Tap, double tap? How in the world do you do it? I'd like to know how to double tap over here. Good morning, Jamie. I see you out there this morning. I can see you. You're only one. Am I the only one? Or are you the only one? Good April. I haven't seen April in a moment. Good morning, April. And Sandy, good morning. Can't find my website. I don't have it anymore. I don't have a website. There is a website. You can look right now where, go back on the comments, and you can see Derek Anderson just wrote a website for the Mountain Mush Lab. Detroit Mountain Mush Lab is where if you're looking for LC or growing supplies, if you're looking for fruit, if you're looking for dried fruit, then you can reach me through my email, which is all one word, all lowercase, the Detroit Mush Lab at gmail.com. Good morning, Julius. Good morning, Sammy P. Mr. Phillips Merning. So that should, you're the only one. So you have a website you can reach out to for supplies and chocolates, and then you have my email for dried supplemental supplements. Okay, that takes care of that commercial. That commercial's over. 36 people, 24 likes. Let's get a few more likes. Let's get a couple of more likes up here. Okay, Sammy P. Julius, double tap. I love that. Double tap that coffee mug. You're welcome, Sandy. Good morning. Good morning. 34 people, 26 likes. That's better. That's better. Remember, the only reason we ask you to like the program is A, we really hope you do, but B, the more likes, the more algorithm action YouTube gives our streaming thing, and more people will see it. So you guys are the responsible for the circulation department. Good morning, Glassic. Pull up a chair and have a donut. Herbie said so. Good morning, Wazzy. Look at that. We've been here 6 minutes. We already have 46 people. Good morning, Deborah. I see Deb. Cleaning. Good morning. Mr. Phillips, that's exactly it. Just grow the community. Grow the whole psilocybin providing community. Free! Free! Oh my gosh! Free! Free! Good morning, Freester. I know it's been hot out there and that you've been in the middle of a million things. Good morning. I'm glad to see Free here this morning. Free the Ancient One. For those of you that don't know what the Ancient One is, Ancient Ones, that's mushrooms. So he wants us to free the mushrooms, legalize them. It's a great tag. Free the Ancient Ones. And then you just call them free. Good morning, Red Boy. And John Zook, and Cleany and all. I'm going to give it about 2 more minutes of hugging each other and saying hello to each other. Maybe even double tapping the screen. 52 people, 34 likes. I have a feeling we can do a little better than that. Solmaldo. Let's get those likes in. And then we're going to get started. We have a, excuse me, a super long, but very, very cool article to cover today. Good morning. Good morning to all of you. Joe Dees, Lynette. Lynette is always rising grandly. Lynette. Good morning. She rises grandly. Morning, Mr. Phillips. Okay. Your boyfriend is here. That's nice, Lynette. I hope your boyfriend's watching or paying attention here. Okay. Boyfriend, we like Lynette. She's like really cool. Lynette's boyfriend, just so you know, your girl is pretty darn cool. We like her. Good morning. There we go. Lynette's BF. Is it her boyfriend or best friend? Or are they the same thing? Okay. There it is. She is Lynette's BF. You have to say that. You're right next to her. Okay, it's a boyfriend. Okay, Lynette. I immediately assumed that. Good morning, Donnie and Greenie. There's my Greenster. Okay, we're getting ready to turn the camera and getting busy with it over here. Getting bitty with it. Getting bitty with it. Okay? Good morning. Let me grab something. Hold on. Okay, Pavlov. We're getting ready to feed the dogs. Back in the B.F. Skinner and Pavlov experiments, all they would do is ring a bell and the dog would know to run to the food bowl. We're going to feed the dog. Go. Go. We just fed the dog. What do you guys think that noise was? Go, go, go. Michael Allen's the sharpest one so far. Means you can put up to 3 numbers on a line at one time. First person to have the number that I have in the chute right now is going to get a pack of supplemental supplements flying at them from Popsy. Okay? Because I did get my boxes. I've got them all. I haven't seen the number yet. Come on, Pavlov. Bring it home. What number is in the first one in the chute right now? What number do you think I've got here? Give me the number. The first person to get it correcto will get a pack of supplemental supplements sent to them. Julius, between 1 and 50. Between 1 and 50. Okay? Give me, and you can put up to 3. Done. Kill it, kill it, kill it. Nurs. Nurs. Nurs said 38. And it's a 38. That's a 38. Nurs. Nursy. Nursy, you send me your address, please. And we'll send you a pack of supplemental supplements, specifically Enigma. We're sending out Enigma right now. Getting back pretty good reviews. I'm hearing the Enigma it's not bad. It's not bad. Okay. So Nurs. Good job. Okay, you'll get me that address. One person from winning yesterday has not sent me their address yet. So we need that. Queenie, yours is in the mail. It went out yesterday evening. So you'll probably see it in transit today. I was waiting for boxes. I had run out of my little white boxes. So yours is in the mail. Okay? And if you need to know Pops' address, it's Derek Anderson just wrote it down in his comment. That's how you reach me. You email me. Okay? Bunny, yours went out yesterday afternoon. Again, I was waiting for boxes. I had run out of little, usually I'm ahead on my supply chain, and somehow I just lost track. I went there to pack some stuff up, and I'm like, what? What? You're out of boxes? So I had to order some boxes. They came in yesterday, and a bunch of stuff went out yesterday. Okay? Good morning. All right, let's get started. You got the tracking, but you probably see that it hadn't even been shipped yet until you'll see it in transit today, I'm sure. This post office is pretty fast. The new one, I'm in, well, it was in Ferndale, now I'm in Warren. And Warren's, they process stuff quicker than Ferndale did. I've been noticing that, and I'm grateful. Plus, I've got a friend, Leon. Leon the postman. He's so cute. A couple of days ago, he popped to the door to get some packages, took the packages, and as he was getting in his truck, here's what happens. He drives by my house first now to see if there's a box of packages on my front porch, because I've shipped straight from the house. And he's, and he'll stop, and he'll take my box of packages over to his truck, put them in, and then bring the box back and put it back on my porch. And then he drives down to the end of the block, and he gets out, and he walks and delivers mail to the whole block. But we get first stop, priority. And the other day, I could hear him pick up the box. So I'm like, oh, this will be a perfect chance. Let me show you that. And just as he was coming back to put the box back on my porch because he had emptied it into his truck, he was getting ready to turn around and he was walking away, thinking, he's done he calls it customer service. What postman thinks they're in customer service? Yeah, he prioritizes us. And just as he's walking away, I open up the door and I go, Leon. And he turns around and he goes, my man. And I go, Leon, have a cupcake. I can tell you the way his eyes lit up, it made his morning. It made his morning. It's such a small little thing. It's a tiny little cupcake. But it isn't even that. It's just the kindness that we have for each other. He's like, you didn't need to do that. And I go, you don't need to pick up my packages first every day either, do you? So, so I'm bribing the mailman. Bottom line, let's talk about it. We bribe him. It's the little acts, nerdy. You know what I mean? He'll never feel bad about picking up stuff from my house, and I'll never feel bad about him because he's such a nice guy. Yeah, and don't forget, do some of those yourself out there. I'm not trying to flex or anything. I'm just just little things once in a while. Okay, right, Herbie? Just find something and just let the universe tell you that there's somebody needs a little touch of kindness. And then just build relationships through these little things and smiles. And Leon looks like, let me tell you what Leon looks like. Who watches that show, the neighborhood show, where there's a white guy living next door to a black guy, and the black guy has this really cool old antique truck in the driveway. What is the name of that show? And the white guy's a nerd. What's the name of that show? Neighborhood something. The Neighborhood? It's called The Neighborhood, right, Sue? Something like that. It's not Sanford and Son. No, Dan. No. Good morning, Danny. No. It's like it's a sitcom on TV in the evenings. Gosh, okay, I'll tell you who it is. I know what it is. Cedric the Entertainer. Cedric the Entertainer. You know who Cedric the Entertainer is? Leon's Cedric's little brother. True. Leon is Cedric's little brother. Okay? So if you guys know who he is, Leon's like a baby Cedric the Entertainer. So, okay, covered that one. It's always a good idea to have a good relationship with your mailman. Okay? Right, John Zook? Now you know what Leon looks like. He's not that much thinner, Joe. He's not. He's a little fluffy. He is, and he admits it. He's going, I don't know, I'm a little, he's adorable. He's adorable. I love my mailman. Okay? Cedric is from St. Louis. I didn't know that. Anyways, you guys now know what Leon, you have a general idea of what Leon looks like. Look at MVP telling his wife, my pretty. You're adorable. Okay. Jesus Christ in Australia. Okay, here we go. I'm going to read an article to you. Okay? This is out of Tricycle Day newsletter. It's long, so we won't finish it today. It's long. We're going to read it for about a half hour. Eugene, we went fishing last week. Look at the show this last Monday, and I told a fish story about this weekend. Had a great time out there fishing, and we brought a young Rex with us, and Rex gave Pops opportunities to not take things personal. I keep thinking about that. You know, I'm gonna let you catch my first fish. It's like, okay, thanks, Rex. Here we go. Strangest psychedelic is everywhere. The ever-surprising history of DMT. The ever-surprising, got it. The ever-surprising history of DMT. Give me 5 people that are interested. What the heck? What's the history? The ever-surprising history of DMT. I love history. I love the history of psychedelics. I used to do Civil War and the Revolutionary War. I'm an expert on the Revolutionary War. Like academic expert. Written papers and everything. Revolutionary War was my go-to period. French and Indian Wars to the Revolutionary War. Now, I sort of know history of psychedelics. Okay? Good morning, Laura. I see Laura. Here's the ever-surprising history. For both the McKenna brothers, ethnobotanist Terence, and you don't hear about his brother that much. You hear about Terence McKenna all the time. But he has a brother that's an ethnopharmacologist named Dennis. And for anyone else with the courage and respiratory fortitude to hold a couple of lungfuls of its vapor in their lungs, DMT was no longer a secret. It was the secret. And the secret was out. By the mid-1960s, this already surprises me. I didn't know they were DMTing in the 50s and the 60s. Did you? Who knew that? I thought DMT was more of a new wave. No, Pops. It's even older than the 50s. Ever surprising history. Wait. The secret is out. By the mid-1960s, me too, nerdy, a dozen of circles, sects, brotherhoods, and sisterhoods centered on the newly discovered mind-expanding medicines that had emerged with Timothy Leary's League for Spiritual Discovery, founded at Millbrook, being the largest and the most influential. Do you remember about 3 weeks ago, we showed you a picture of 3 or 4 pictures of the mansion at Millbrook, Leary's old mansion, and the whole, it's like a big ranch, I think like 2,000 acres, and they're selling it right now for $66 million. 66. However, while these sects primarily focused on LSD and psilocybin mushrooms as quasi-religious tools for spiritual transcendence, following the publication of Leary's earliest experiences with the drug, it wasn't long before DMT was also elevated to a sacramental status. Also found out in Millbrook by psychologist turned psychedelic activist Arthur Klepps, the much smaller sect, the Neo-American Church, produced and distributed a small booklet called The Psychedelic Guide to the Preparation of the Eucharist in a few of its many guises. This book provided detailed and highly technical procedures for the chemical synthesis of a range of psychedelic molecules, including LSD, psilocybin, mescaline, and DMT. The book explains all this guide explained how to synthesize these molecules. Probably not an easy book to read. Although this likely inspired some clandestine chemists to begin adding DMT to their product line, there was little incentive for them to divert their resources from an already wildly popular and extraordinarily potent LSD derivative yielding 10,000 doses per gram compared to DMT, which yields barely 36 doses per gram. Despite Nick Sand's breakthrough discovery that DMT could be smoked, or more correctly, vaporized, there was no way it could compete with LSD, and it remained relatively rare on the underground drug market. And even with the Neo-American Church's guidebook, anyone but the most serious of chemists attempting to make it for themselves would likely have struggled to execute the fairly advanced chemistry required to complete the synthesis, even if they were able to obtain the requisite chemical precursors. So while more and more people were beginning to hear about this new, extraordinary psychedelic, very few actually had the opportunity to try it for themselves. And if the secret was to spread beyond the small clutch of committed psychedelic enthusiasts with a penchant for the more exotic members of the drug class, together with the necessary connections to procure it, it would need another push. This would eventually come not from the clandestine chemists of West Coast America, however, but from the ethnobotanists working deep in the rainforests of South America, likely entirely ignorant of the strange elfin creatures bouncing around the brains of McKenna and Leary's acolytes. The ethnobotanists were still arguing among themselves about the jungle technology that, partly thanks to Hockenstein and Paradis' controversial Prestonia Amazonicum paper, had become closely associated with DMT, and that is ayahuasca. Despite the impact of Stephen Zara's discovery of the uniquely visionary properties of DMT, coupled with Hockenstein and Paradis' isolation of the alkaloid from a key plant component of the brew, many scientists remained unconvinced that DMT had anything to do with ayahuasca. Firstly, Richard Schultes had been quite vocal in expressing his doubts over the identity of the plant extract obtained by Hockenstein. And secondly, it was by then perfectly well known that DMT was completely, wait for it, completely inactive when consumed orally. So it made little sense that it would form the central psychoactive component of a visionary drink, ayahuasca. But then again, it seemed to stretch credulity that Hockenstein might have received a plant extract that, while having no psychoactive role in the ayahuasca brew, just happened to contain high concentrations of powerful visionary alkaloid. It made little sense, and making it make sense was no simple business. Rather than a single standard ayahuasca recipe to analyze and deconstruct, ethnobotanists were faced with a plethora of different variants of the potion, complicated by a gamut of the admixture plants. Almost 100, listen to this. What you're hearing here is ayahuasca brew from this group may not be the same as the ayahuasca group from this group, or from this retreat, or from this tribe. What matters is the admixture of the plants that they're using in their ayahuasca brew. Okay, almost 100 different species from around 3 dozen plant families have been documented being added to ayahuasca decoctions along the Capi line. The Sayona people of the Putumayo in Colombia recognized at least 17 varieties of the ayahuasca brew. The Barasana people of the Rio Piraparana boasted no less than 30 distinct variations, each with its own name and admixture plant components. Oh, and to complicate matters even further, since each admixture plant often went by several different names, the plant alone could have 7 or 8 different names, just depending on a particular indigenous group, their location and their local tongue. Even formally identifying each plant in a particular ayahuasca recipe was a formidable task, let alone delineating its role, if any, in the brew's psychoactive effects. Because of the complications of dialect, calling different plants different things, having all of these different recipes that an ethnobotanist would try to decode what's in this brew, it's virtually impossible for them to really correctly identify many of these brews and the admixture plants. Now, also, let's say we're going to throw some DMT alkaloid in there. We're at this point in the story, they can't tell if it helps or it's just an addition, but it doesn't do anything. Okay? Schultes lamented, "Here we are, still standing on the threshold, with one hand on the knob of the door, just set ajar, but not opened. Aha! That door was finally kicked off its hinges when ethnobotanist Homer Pinkley, a graduate student of Schultes, arrived in the small village of Durano, Ecuador, home of the Kofan people and some of the greatest ayahuasca artists in South America. William Burroughs had previously described what he referred to as the Kofan method of ayahuasca preparation. It required the leaves of a secret second plant essential for the full visionary effects. During his work with the Kofan, Pinkley also caught wind of an additional plant added along with the Capi wine that allowed drinkers of the decoction to see beings known as opritos, or small heavenly people. A plant that allowed you to see people? Surely this must have been a clue. One evening in the spring of 1966, following the death of a tribal chief, a group of around 20 Kofan men and boys gathered in the ceremonial house to perform an ayahuasca ceremony. Pinkley was permitted to join them. The following morning, hoping to uncover evidence of this secret plant, he fished around in the empty cauldron that was used to prepare the brew. Are you guys enjoying this? This is pretty interesting. Give me a couple of people that say, I'm not bored yet, Pops. This is pretty interesting, is it not? I'm fascinated, to be honest with you. I want to be an ethnobotanist in my next life down in the Amazon. I'm not kidding you. Okay, looks like we've got some attention. Good. Well, after fishing around in the bottom of the cauldron, he was in luck. A few leaves and seeds somehow managed to escape the hours of ferocious boiling intact. Just about sufficient to make a formal identification. Latin name, Psychotria viridis, more commonly known as Chacruna, but known to the Kofan as Oprito, the same name given to the small heavenly people whom these magic leaves made visible. Coincidentally, during the summer of the same year, American anthropologist Kenneth Kensinger was collecting plant specimens used in the production of the ayahuasca in a village of Balta in Peru. Among the samples collected was the plant Pinkley had, just a few weeks earlier identified across the border in Ecuador. This plant was shipped to a pharmaceutical chemist, Era Martisonian, at the Philadelphia College of Pharmacy and Science for analysis. 1966. After decades of confusion, speculation, and debate among the greatest minds in ethnobotany, the elusive secret admixture plant of the ayahuasca potion had finally been identified. And like the Yopo and Ipina snuffs, its power derived from a simple molecule. Martisonian's analysis revealed only one major alkaloid component, DMT. Although Homer Pinkley is usually given the credit for this monumental discovery, it turns out that in fairness, someone else got there first. When William Burroughs was led into the trade secret by medicine man Saboya in Peru in 1954, he wrote to Richard Schultes to announce his discovery, enclosing a few of the leaves he'd pocketed. Dear Dick, I enclose samples of leaves used in preparation of Yagi ayahuasca by Peru Indians. They boil the macerated vine with a large portion of these leaves for 2 hours. Yagi prepared in this way is a great deal more powerful and quite different in effect from Yagi prepared in the same manner alone or from a cold infusion. To Burroughs' disappointment, Schultes never replied. Let me get the door. And it seems he didn't bother to examine or even attempt to identify the leaves that he was sent. However, almost 20 years later, upon hearing of his student's discovery of chacruna, he finally decided to look over the specimens. Burroughs' Peruvian botanist friend had identified the plant as a species from the Palagura genus of the Rubicae family. He had made an error. Although the plant was from the Rubicae family, it wasn't a species of Palagura. In fact, it was a species of Psychotria. Specifically, let's go back to the very beginning, that Psychotria viridis, precisely the same plant that would be collected and identified by Homer Pinkley as the key DMT containing ayahuasca more than 16 years later. So Burroughs had been right all along. There was an additional component in the ayahuasca brew necessary for the full visionary effects. It was an alkaloid. It was the gateway to the soulless place of the insect people. It was his nightmare hallucinogen. Not only did Schultes fail to recognize the importance of Burroughs' discovery in 1954, 12 years prior, in 1942, he'd also come across another plant that held the same secret. Chacarana is mainly used in the Amazonian Peru, parts of Ecuador and Brazil, but in other parts of the Amazon and in Colombia, the natives use a different secret plant. While working along the Ingano people in Puerto Limon in 1942, Schultes was informed that the ayahuasca potion could be enhanced by the addition, you guys are going to know this one, DMT synthesizers, enhanced by the addition of the bark of another vine closely related, which he identified as Banastoropus rusbayana, and known to the natives as Chacropanga. So in the spirit of scientific inquiry, Schultes decided to test this claim. One night he tried the potion prepared with the cacti vine alone, and then a few nights later with the addition of the Chacropanga. With the first preparation, he experienced slow, undulating waves of color. But with the addition of the Chacropanga, the effect was electric. Reds and golds dazzling in diamonds that turned like dancers on the tips of distant highways, unquote. Since Chacropanga was closely related to the cacti vine, it was plausible that it too contained harmala alkaloids that provided an additive effect. After all, in high enough doses, the harmala alkaloids have at least a moderatively psychoactive effect. Unfortunately, analysis of the chemical composition of the bark wasn't performed, and Chacropanga was largely forgotten. 1942, they were onto it. And then they dropped the ball. Okay? More than 2 decades later, during his stay with the Kofan, Homer Pinkley, as well as rediscovering Chacruna, also collected samples of the Chacropanga. But this time the samples were distributed to a pair of chemists for independent chemical analysis. Both analyses revealed the presence of a single, now familiar alkaloid, DMT. In retrospect, it seems like Hochstein and Paredes were in fact correct about the extract of either Chacruna or Chacropanga. We'll never know, but whatever the truth, it was now clear that the indigenous groups across South America were all turning to one of a pair of plants containing high concentrations of DMT to complete their versions of the ayahuasca decoction. This suggested the existence of a minimal binary decoction that invariably must contain cacti vine plus the leaves of a DMT containing plant. Other admixture plants were optional and only used to modulate effects, much to the confusion of the botanists that were studying these potions. Ayahuasca. I didn't know that there was DMT. I mean, I'm not down with ayahuasca. I've never had it, or I don't know, I just don't feel like purging. But who knew that DMT was one of its major ingredients, not pops? Well, the discovery of Chacruna and Chacropanga brought some welcome clarity to the ayahuasca decoction. It left a major question yet to be answered. If DMT derived from the leaves of chacruna or the bark of chakraponga, was the active component of the brew. What was the capi vine exactly? Why was it considered the primary essential component of the decoction? Why was it added to the brew at all? Richard Spruce's encounter with the Guahibo people of the Orinoco Plains in 1854 provided the first clue of solving this mystery. 1854. As well as enjoying yopo in relatively small doses as a stimulant, the Guahibo people also chewed the dried capi vine along with the snuff, perhaps suggesting some kind of pharmacological synergy between DMT in the yopo snuff and the harmala alkaloids in the vine. This idea was supported by the Payora people employing of a similar technique, although they drank an infusion of the capi vine prior to inhaling large doses of yopo to potentiate their visions. But yopo apparently wasn't the only visionary stuff that could be enhanced this way. I told you it's a long article, but gosh, it's good. It's really good. Okay? I feel like going to the Amazon today. In 1965, Swedish physician Bo Holmstedt performed chemical analysis on a variant of Apina snuff obtained from the Sawara people of northwestern Brazil. These are the visionary snuffs that Schultes had previously identified as being derived from the resinous exudate of various Virola species, and which twice he'd been informed were used to speak to the little people. Bearing in mind the propensity of synthetic DMT to induce encounters with such beings, it should come as little surprise that Homestead's analysis of the Apina stuff revealed the presence of high concentrations of this visionary tryptamine. But Homestead had also detected two other entirely unexpected major alkaloids in the extract: harmaline and harmaline. Since these alkaloids can't be produced by any Virola species, they could only result from the addition of another admixture plant, possibly the capi vine. So again, the indigenous manufacturers of this Apina snuff seemed to be exploiting some kind of a pharmacological synergy to enhance the visions elicited by the principal alkaloid, DMT. We're going to halt this article here. We'll pick it up tomorrow. I hope you guys don't mind. I really am enjoying reading this to you. None of this is you're not gonna remember all of these names and all of the tribes and all of the ethnobotanists and things like that, but we're getting a general sense of, boy, back in the 50s and the 60s, they were doing some incredible deep research, chemical analysis and everything to figure out what the heck is it that these indigenous people were taking that was helping them see the little people, and that they were using in their ceremonies. Then there was the what I call the Dark Ages. They just stopped looking at all of this stuff from about 1967, 69, until they picked back up in 2006, and we started looking at this stuff again. We're going to find out that there's, as we know, there's a really easy, quote unquote, easy way, extraction method for coming up with DMT out of the bark. And in this article, we're going to find out that DMT really, other than somehow with this pharmacological combination in an ayahuasca brew, DMT itself can't be taken orally and make an impact on you psychoactively. It has to be vaporized. That molecule, that alkaloid, has to be vaporized. And when we found that out, people were taken off to the moon. And you DMT people, the people that have tried it before, they know exactly what I'm talking about. I haven't been to that moon yet, but you go straight to the moon. And you get to hang around the moon, and all of the aliens that are out there for a good 10 or 15 minutes till you come home. So we'll pick up some more of that tomorrow, okay? And be able to hopefully finish that. HB, I agree. DMT is not to be fooled with. It's a way stronger. It's way stronger than shrooms. It's stronger than LSD. It's stronger than mescaline. Yeah, DMT is for the moonshot. Give me a number between 1 and 50. Give me a number between 1 and 50. Go, 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 go. You can put up to 3 numbers on your line at one time. Give me, oh, kill the game. Mike Baraball already got it. Mikey Baraball, it's a 40. That was the very first number Mike had. Mike, where is it? It's 40. Mike Baraball. Mike Baribal. But we call him Baraball. Okay, Mike Baraball. Send me your address at the Detroit Mush Lab at gmail.com, and we're going to send you a pack of supplemental supplements straight from the Amazon. Or I mean, straight from the Detroit Grow House. Okay? We talked about disgust yesterday. I'm going to finish up with a quote about disgust. I think the biggest thing that disgust, because I got to even thinking more about it yesterday and talking about a couple of things that I found disgusting. And both of those things and many other things that when I get my white throne of judgment and filled with self-righteousness and I know everything and the other people don't. At the end of the day, you know what disgust really does for me? It dehumanizes the person that I'm disgusted towards. And it dehumanizes me. I don't have a right on the planet Earth to have those kind of judgments, to have a judgment that brings me down to the level where I'm actually experiencing disgust. And there's plenty of research that shows us 2 major hormones are directly impacted when we have disgust: adrenaline and cortisol. And I got to thinking about that after reading it yesterday, and it makes sense. You almost get incensed when you're in emotional disgust. You have to almost get riled up. Do you know what I mean? You have to almost oh my goodness. Well, once you get like that, you're already activating your adrenaline. But you're not activating it for a positive reason. Adrenaline does this to us, and cortisol, both of those hormones. They're part of our fight or flight brain activity. They're part of our fight or flight. Think about disgust. Disgust, you're either going to run or you're going to want to kick its ass. Someone's ass. They're so disgusting, I want to kick your ass. It immediately triggers fight or flight. The concept of disgust and experiencing disgust. I don't want to do either. I don't want to do either. The mystical leaders that I look at, they don't fight or they don't fly. They don't flight. They stay put. They're calm. They just walk through stuff. Stuff flies by and it doesn't even matter. Your mystical leaders aren't out there experiencing disgust. They've like transcended that. How many of us would love to transcend that? I think I'm on my way because I'm understanding it better and better. The moment I start to feel disgust for someone or something, I think I'm in the wrong. I think I'm in the wrong. And I don't want to dehumanize myself. I don't want to dehumanize other people. And I didn't really realize I was by being disgusted about their pants. But I was. Just seeing somebody walk down the street, they're less of a human than I am because of the way they wear their pants. Are you kidding me? And you know, in the matote of the world, the fog of the world, there's a lot of people that are living like that. They don't know. Their level of awareness is not there. Mine wasn't. It takes some time. It takes being in groups like this. It takes listening to lessons. It takes reading. It takes teaching. It takes coaching. It takes wanting to be a leader. If you want to be a leader, you don't want to be disgusted by anybody in your flock. Do you? There isn't one person in the flock that should disgust you. Our flock, we're a hospital. Can you imagine the doctor being disgusted by the person coming into the emergency room? Oh, I'm not going to work on that guy. He's disgusting. I don't get to pick who I'm working with. The universe picks them for me. Is any of this resonating? You can feel disgust coming up. If you're in tune, you can feel it rise. There comes the adrenaline pump. Here comes the cortisol pump. You can feel it coming, and you're either going to do one of two things. You're either going to fight or you're going to fly. Either one, you're dehumanizing yourself and whatever it is that you're disgusted by. I'm not talking about being disgusted by a pool of vomit. I won't even use the word disgust now. I don't want it in my vocabulary. I'm just averted to it. I don't want to be around a pool of vomit. It smells icky. But I'm never going to be disgusted. I want to get rid of neuro-linguistics programming. Linguistic. The words I say. I program myself by the words I say. And if I even am using the word disgust in my vocabulary, I'm at risk of experiencing it. What if I just remove it from my vocabulary altogether? That goes on my list of words I'll not say. I'm already growing. I may even start experiencing disgust, but if I say it, that gives it power. If I don't give it any wind, I don't give it any breath, it will die in my brain and go away and make space for goodness and kindness instead. Listen to this quote. With disgust, we've taken an emotion that keeps us safe from the stuff that can make us sick, and we've turned it into an emotion that can be weaponized against people. The disgust was originally, hey, oh gosh, I don't want to eat that. It doesn't look right. That's to keep you safe. That isn't what disgust means anymore. Disgust is a way to weaponize an emotion against other people. Dehumanize. Dehumanization. Listen to this. Dehumanization. Have a great day, Deborah. Dehumanization. I love what Michael Patterson's always got some of the neatest things to say. Our inner garden needs tending and weeding. I got to get that one out. I'm not feeding that weed. The way I feed weeds in my brain is with my words. My words are the breath. They're the fertilizer. If only good words are coming out of my mouth, that's what I'm watering. Really look at your vocabularies. I implore you, look at your vocabulary. That's why I say, take 10 seconds before you say something. Run it all through your mind and past the gate of kindness that are your teeth. Make sure that what comes out is good and it's positive and it's watering the kind places in your brain. And if it's not, all of our mothers told us this. Don't say anything at all. Nobody needs my opinion. Why do I have to volunteer it? It's when somebody comes and asks, you know what it becomes? It doesn't even become an opinion anymore. Now it's advice. If somebody comes to me and asks, I don't give you my opinion. I try not to. I give you my experience. And whatever advice I can give relative to my experience. That's it. It's not colored with emotional, damaging things. Oh, well, that guy's disgusting. Well, when I had a situation with him, this is what happened. And this is how it made me feel. That's all I can tell you. And I didn't volunteer that. I didn't go and knock on your door and say, hey, you really need to know this about Joe. It's because you came and you asked me, what's your opinion on Joe? And I'd say, well, I don't know about an opinion, but I can tell you what my experience has been. And then tell you the truth with only good words. I won't have dehumanized Joe. I'll just tell you what happened. I won't have dehumanized me. I won't have watered a single bad weed. Gosh, I hope this is making sense. Our vocabulary is so powerful. And then we use these words that are so out of line. We overstate stuff. We really need to watch the words we use. Look at what they're saying. Well, that's a disaster. A disaster is the floods in Texas. It's not a disaster that somebody dropped something. That's not a disaster. Don't even compare it. It takes a whole lot for something to be a disaster. We use these words. Dehumanization continues to be. Are you ready for this? Let me ask you a question. We're not doing politics. I'm not. I have a brain and an eye, and I can look around the world. Do you think that the people in the Middle East, and I'm not going to be specific, but you got people in this side of a border and you got people on that side of a border. Do you think those people see each other as humans? They see the people on the other side. My sense is they have to almost reach a point where that other side is dehumanized in order to do some of the things that they do. Like that's a lower caste of people. You have to reach a place, the Nazis. You think that they dehumanized Jews? I do. Now you can kill them. Now you're not even going to feel bad about it. You're doing the world a favor. Dehumanization continues to be one of the greatest threats to humanity. We think this is all a big deal. What are we talking about? Because it's the greatest threat to humanity. It's what keeps us in wars. We start out with it being a kid with baggy pants. And the next thing you know, it can be a whole culture. Oh, well, they're all like that. Yeah, no, they aren't. And yeah, what the pants the guy's wearing, there's nothing about that you even have a right to remark on. That guy's as human as you are. You have no clue what their home life is like, what they go through daily, the challenges that they have. You're clueless. But you can sure dehumanize them. If we're going to save ourselves and one another, we need to understand what dehumanization is and how it works. I've adapted what I wrote about the dehumanization process in Braving the Wilderness, and I'm going to include it here as a primer. After researching and writing on Disgust, I made connections that I missed in the past. So while adapted from Braving the Wilderness, this section includes some new thoughts. David Livingstone Smith, the author of Less Than Human, explains that dehumanization is a response to conflicting motives. We want to harm a group of people, but it goes against our wiring as members of a social species to actually harm, kill, torture, or degrade other humans. Smith explains that very deep and natural inhibitions prevent us from treating other people like animals or dangerous predators. He writes, dehumanization is a way of subverting those inhibitions. We naturally want to treat other people like humans. Our nature. The one we're born with, little baby. But we've learned, we've been culturally programmed to be able to dehumanize groups, people, individuals, and groups, so we can treat them how we want. Dehumanization is a process. I think Michelle Maes, a professor in the philosophy department at Emmanuel College, lays it out in a way that makes sense. Maes defines dehumanization, as the psychological process of demonizing the enemy, making them seem less than human and hence not worthy of humane treatment. Dehumanization often starts with creating an enemy image. As we take sides and we lose trust and we get angrier and angrier, we not only solidify an idea of our enemy, but we also start to lose our ability to listen, to communicate, and to practice even a modicum of empathy. Once we see people on the other side of a conflict as morally inferior or maybe even dangerous, the conflict starts being framed as good versus evil. And of course, you're always going to be on the good side. You never identify yourself, yeah, I'm on the evil side, I know that. They're the good side. We don't do that. I wonder why. Mize writes, once the parties have framed the conflict in this way, their positions become more rigid. In some cases, zero-sum thinking develops as parties come to believe that they must either secure their own victory or face defeat. New goals to punish or destroy the opponents arise. And in some cases, militant powers take over. Some cases, language matters. I'm almost done here for today, you guys. I'm so glad that we can discuss these things because they give me things to work on every day. Am I doing something that's dehumanizing something somewhere? If I am, I need to stop. I look around the world, and that is the problem of our planet. Look over, I'm just going to grab the Middle East again, no politics. We could go all the way, we could go up to Ukraine and Russia, we could go all around the planet. We have it going on now in Cambodia and Thailand are deciding to start fighting now. Pakistan and India. Why does each side think they're right? How could you take a gun and shoot it at somebody because you think your beliefs are more important than theirs? I swear it makes me want to cry. I'm not joking. How can we do that? Well, it started early in our brain. It took a while to get them to dehuman, but we started out with a lack of empathy, with a lack of understanding, and we were probably using words that categorized them. We weren't using us words. We were using you and them words. Language matters. It's the raw material of a story. It changes how we feel about ourselves and others, and it's a portal to connection. With the same amount of power, language can also be used to strip people of their dignity and humanity. With awareness about how dehumanizing works, wait for this. With an awareness, we're becoming aware here. Our T group is becoming aware of dehumanizing. What do we do with that? Now that we have awareness, and we're going to develop awareness, and we're going to practice awareness, what do we do with it? With awareness about how dehumanization works comes the responsibility to call out dangerous language when we recognize it. I recognize that I'm using dangerous language, and I'm going to call myself out first. And it's okay if you're in a group and you hear another person say, oh, dehumanize someone else. Hold on a minute. Brother, sister, what you're doing right now is dehumanizing another person. Let's take it in a different direction. Let's point out the goods. Let's find the positives here. And you got to be that guy in a group without being a jerk. You have a responsibility to it. And if we do it with kindness and leadership, the group that you're in won't be a dehumanizing group. It'll be an empathetic, growth-oriented, health-providing group. Because we're going to find ourselves, we can't do that to one another. We can't do it to one another, we can't do it to ourselves, and we can't do it to any randos. And gosh darn it, T's done a good job of that. I'm telling you right now. I see you guys call a few people out once in a while, a troll here, a troll there. No, we don't put up with that here. We don't do it in a mean way. But just stop the process before it becomes a process. You have families. You have kids that are learning out in the world how to dehumanize. You have kids out in the world learning how to dehumanize. Being disgusted by things, people. You have an awareness now. You got to teach them how to do it differently. You got to tell them we don't do that in our home. That's just not something we do. Those are words we don't use. Those are concepts that we change when we see them coming. Start with your home. Carry it to your group. And as your group grows, we got a chance, you guys. We got a chance to be different. Anybody that says one person doesn't make a difference hasn't read history. Every once in a while, some one person pops up, and they didn't expect it, and they made a difference. Be that guy. Be that gal. Make a difference. Watch the words you say. And teach your youngs. Teach the young. That's the best part of what I do. I love to teach. And with teaching comes responsibility. You can't teach and be a hypocrite. If I'm going to teach it, I should be practicing it. Thank goodness I have that. Thank goodness I have this place to do that. You guys good? Let's get out of here. 4 things. Be impeccable. You can never dehumanize someone if you're being impeccable. It's impossible. Impeccability won't allow it. I like what Jeremy said. Watch the words you think. Be impeccable. Don't have it. Don't take things personal. You can't dehumanize me because I won't take you personal. I'm above it. Till I practice the second principle. 3rd, don't have expectations. That's called judgments too. And 4th, do your best. Are you going to be perfect at it today? No. But if you said, I'm going to do my best today, count to 10 before you say anything. Try it all day long. Try it all day long today. That'll be your best today. Here's your homework assignment. Before you say one word, and someone's going to wait for you to reply, it's like, you know what? I've noticed that guy's a slow replier. So what? The words that come out when he does reply are always good. Have a great day. I love you guys. Thank you. Let me scroll you out of here. Julia Stacks. Love that you were here this morning. Derek Anderson, Jeremy Carpenter. That was a good line. HB and Four Leaf and Billy D. And Michael Sean T. Patterson, Derek Anderson, Married Michael, Julius, and John Zook, and Jesus Christ in Australia. And Herbie, and Joe D's and Billy D, and HB's doing his best. Sanum, there she is, Married Michael, Catzilla, Sammy P. and Anthony T. and Lynette, and Jeremy, Married Michael, Billy D, Sandy, Sandman, Jesus Christ, John Zook, Justin Robinson, thank you, Glassic, there you are. There you are, Gleamy, Herbie, and Nerdy, the Nerdy Nerdston, Jolie, Happy, oh, I love you, Haggies, Trenty, the Trenty Trenterson, HB, Joe D's, Jips, there's my girl, Kimberly, International Kindness Ambassador, Julius, thank you, Sue Littlemeyer, Michael Allen, Nerd Nature, Jesus Christ, Michael Patterson, Mikey Barry Ball, Barry B, Jesus Christ, Married Michael Glassick and Derek Anderson, Billy D, Donnie Fike, Hurdy, Mike Barball, Notorious, Married Michael, Joe D's, Mike Baraball, Jamie Reen, Glassick, and Married Michael finally. Pops, peace, love, practice.